right, time for our NFL weekly predictions. Week 10 now.
Hey, nice hat, buddy.
Yeah, well, I mean, I won the picks, so.
You won the picks, but you're wearing the hat of shame.
Yeah, I'm kind of liking it. I'm starting to, besides.
Is this going to be part of your regular ensemble going forward?
No, not really. I left that on your shoe because I have a really bad case of explosive diarrhea.
Oh, thank you so much. Lovely.
Oh, Lord, have mercy.
No, I'm just playing. Of course, we don't have that. But no, I kind of wanted to wear the hat this week. I am still last overall. Okay, I'm still last overall. I'm only 2 games back.
All right,
but
so here's the standings between the three of us.
all right,
guys.
tell us what's going on.
Okay, Steve went 11-3. Jason and I both went 9-5. That puts me and Jason both at 85, 45, and 1. And Steve, you are at, drum roll please, 83, 47, and 1. You are literally 2 games back.
Right, so I'll wear the hat until, I like wearing the hat. I kind of like it. Keeps my head warm. It's getting cold outside.
All I know is that first 2 minutes got us a Best Podcast in the Nation award. I know. I'll be expecting it in the mail.
All right, well, let's do these picks. Sizzle, tell us what's going on.
Our first game will be our Thursday night game, and that is the Colts at the Titans. Tennessee is favored by 2.
All right, go ahead.
Oh, Titans all over. The Colts are, they're a little better than I dog them a lot. They're a little better than I give them credit for. Their defense is at least capable of having good games. But no Phillip Rivers team is going to beat Tennessee. Tennessee wins, they cover.
Yeah, I'll take the Titans as well. I'll ride with you on that. I'm not willing to risk. I got to pick my games against you so I can catch up. So
Right.
I'm not willing to pick.
But
the
you're
Colts.
also not a foolish person.
Well, yeah, I'm somewhat foolish. Sizzle, what are you picking?
I'm picking Tennessee as well.
I honestly don't get this line. The Titans by 2. I don't get it. Why isn't that 5 or 6? I don't know. It's all season long. The experts in Vegas have been giving the Colts way too much credit. The Colts are not a good football team. They're not terrible. They're not at Jets level, but they're not good. What's our next game?
Our next game is going to be our first Sunday afternoon game, 1 o'clock, and that is Washington at the Lions. Detroit is favored by 4.
Okay.
I've got the Lions in this game. Washington really only is going to be favored when they're playing in the NFC East. I mean, that is a debacle, just a huge, flaming, stinking dumpster fire of a division. Anytime any of those teams from the NFC East are playing out of division games, I'm probably going to pick against them. The Lions win and they cover.
All right, I'm going to take the Lions, but I'm thinking about taking the Washington football team. I'll think about this during the next 15 minutes or in this segment, and
Their defense isn't bad.
I might switch my pick, but I'm taking Detroit. Sizzle, who you got?
I'm also taking Detroit.
All right, next game.
We have the Jaguars at the Packers. Green Bay is favored by 13.
Man, what happened to the Jaguars? Remember that game they won? They won in week 1. You remember that?
That's true.
Against a better football team. And they have been a
mess.
A mess. Yeah, a mess. This is a really heavy line, this 13 points. Obviously, I think we're all taking the Packers in this. I don't think that they can cover that 13.
We're all taking the Packers. I'm taking the Packers. Sizzle, you got?
I'm taking the Packers as well.
Yeah, no cover on this.
All right. Next game.
We have the Eagles at the Giants, and Philadelphia is favored by 3.5.
That's the NFC East in-divisional game. One of them has to win. Who's going to suck less this week, Steve? Who do you got?
Well, the Eagles should win the game. They really should win the game. The Giants may pull it off, though.
They've gotten better the last couple of weeks, the Giants have.
Yeah.
On the other hand, the Eagles have improved, too.
I'm going to take the Giants.
Okay. I'm going with the favorite on this. I'll take the Eagles. But I do expect this to be a very close and low-scoring game. So, I've got the Eagles by 2 or 3 points on this. No cover.
Okay. What do you got, Cecil?
I'm taking the Eagles as well.
Okay. All right. So what's next?
Alrighty. So next we have the Bucks at the Panthers. Tampa Bay is favored by 4.5.
Tampa Bay coming off that absolute beatdown. They scored 3 points in that game on what was it, Sunday night. That was that was something. That's got to be a 1 week aberration. I mean, the Bucks have been trending upwards other than that game for weeks, and they do have Antonio Brown. I mean, I just can't believe that team would suddenly fall to pieces in the span of 1 week. So I'm taking the Bucks, and I think they're going to cover. I think they're going to have a big game. I almost called this as my lock of the week. They're going to bounce back. You know, Brady, coming off one of the worst games of his career, is really going to be motivated to perform.
Yeah, I'm not even going to talk about it. Bucks win.
That's what I was thinking too. Tampa Bay.
Bucks win. Next game.
Our next game is the Texans at the Browns, and the Cleveland is favored by 3.5.
All right. This is a tough game to pick. You have two mediocre teams, and the Texans are actually getting it together. Since they lost Bill O'Brien, the Texans they're getting it together. They really are. You have no Odell Beckham Jr. for Cleveland. Even though the Browns have a good defense, I think the Texans. But the Texans are in disarray. Look at J.J. Watt. Pretty much demanded a trade last week, so he's not happy. I'm not really sure where to go, even though Cleveland's favored. Maybe I should just take Cleveland because they're favored. I don't know. What are you doing?
Look, the Texans, there's no surprise that the Texans have gotten better. I mean, this is what always happens when you conquer cancer. When you cut the cancer out, the team gets better. The individual gets better. It's the same thing. Bill O'Brien was such a disease on this team. And I'm so proud of them for finally showing him the door. Now, it took way too long for them to do that.
Right.
Personally, I think he should have been, booted when he made that ridiculous trade in the offseason. But the problem is that they're still just not a good football team. And the other side of it, though, is I hate to pick the Browns.
Right.
I hate to pick Cleveland. I mean, it seems like every time, I know Sizzle was in agreement with me on this, that, every time the Browns have a good game every few weeks, all of a sudden they look great. And you should be able to pick them with confidence against a mediocre team the following week.
Mm-hmm.
But I hate picking Cleveland because they can't be consistent at all. However, they are at home, and I know the home field advantage doesn't mean that much nowadays.
Right.
But I'm going to take the Browns. I know Mayfield's off the COVID list, so he should be starting. I'll take the Browns. No cover, though. This is going to be a very tightly fought football game. This might be one of the more entertaining games of the week.
It may be. I'm going to take the Browns, too, just because just a feeling. I have no really insight to be able to say, well, Deshaun Watson is better than Baker Mayfield. We know that. But I don't know. I guess the Browns' defense will step up big. Texans don't really have much on offense. Their defense is mediocre at best. I'm taking the Browns.
And I'm taking the Houston Texans.
Well, go with it, Sizzle.
It's a feeling.
Next game.
I don't know, but maybe. Our next game is the Broncos at the
Broncos at the Raiders.
Yes, that's it. The
Broncos.
Broncos at the Raiders, and the Raiders are favored by 5.5 points.
All right. Well, Las Vegas is your team. You want to talk about that, Sizzle?
I'm taking Vegas.
You're jumping off the
Just
Dallas
win, baby.
Cowboy bandwagon. Now you're all about the silver and black.
She's always had some love for the Raiders.
She loves the Raiders. That's her in Vegas. That's her town.
I remember that was one of the first teams she mentioned shortly after I knew her.
Yeah, she's from New York, but she's like
a lot of people like the Raiders. I think a lot of it is that mystique, the silver and black, and the logo, and they're fierce and
right.
They always put on a show,
and that's why the coach should be wearing a mask. It's a mystique thing,
right?
Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. It's okay. The Browns coach should be wearing a shield to prevent bottles and stuff to be thrown at him. But we got
tomatoes.
I'm taking the Raiders.
He's taking the Raiders.
Yeah, I'm taking the Raiders.
I almost picked the Broncos in this. I am going to go with the Raiders. No cover. Again, I think this is going to be one of the better games of the week. Mm-hmm. The Broncos have, they've looked a little bit better, but they just don't have enough here. I'm going with the Raiders. They'll win by 2 or 3.
All right, here we go. Next
Our
game.
next game are the Chargers at the Dolphins, and Miami is favored by 2.5.
All right. You want to go first or you want me to go first?
This is my upset of the week. Just going to put it out there right away.
All right.
The Dolphins, yeah, Tua came back and had a great game after his disastrous debut in which he threw for, 97 yards, I think, his first game.
Yeah, he came back this week.
I think a lot of that was nerves. And, very few quarterbacks, very, very few rookie quarterbacks, or even non-rookies in their first NFL start come out of the gate and fall flat on their face. So I get that he looked a lot better. But I think the real Tua is somewhere in between. And I like Herbert. I like the Chargers receivers. I feel like this line should be closer to a pick 'em. I got the Chargers, and this is my upset of the week.
Well, I'm thinking about this. You know how much I love Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
I've been talking about him for weeks and weeks. I mean, it's like week 2 I started talking about him. To me,
It's got to be Rookie of the Year,
To me,
right?
it's not about Tua. It's about the Dolphins' defense. They're getting scores. Last week they scored 2 touchdowns. They're helping Tua out. The Chargers have a pretty good defense, though. They have a pretty good defense. I think they can give Tua some fits. But that Dolphin defense is showing up. Where's this game at? Is it in Miami?
in Miami.
It is. It's in Miami.
It's in Miami. All right, I'm going to take the Dolphins.
All right.
I'm going to take the Dolphins, and then maybe at the end of this segment, I might go back and just pick crazy picks just to either blow the season or win the championship.
Well, remember, you're allowed to change one pick each week.
Oh, one. I'm going to change
1.
7.
Just rewrite the rules.
Rewrite the rules.
Like you did in week 2.
I'm taking the Dolphins. I didn't. That was week 1.
You changed it in week 2.
After week 1. And I'm
Sizzle, who do you have?
I am taking the Chargers.
Okay.
All right. I'm the only one with the Dolphins. All right, go ahead. Next game.
Our next game is the Bills at the Cardinals, and Arizona is favored by 2.
Okay.
Why?
Why?
Why? I don't see how Arizona's favored. Again, this feels to me. I understand they're playing in Arizona. This feels again more like a pick 'em to me. I've got the Bills and they upset. Hey, it's not like I don't. It's not like I'm selling the Cardinals short. Kyler Murray has really blossomed, and good for him. And that team is going places. But I'm just not thrilled about some of their personnel. I mean, they're trotting 37-year-old Larry Fitzgerald out there every week. He's getting like 2 catches on 3 targets, 4 targets typically.
Yeah.
He's a complete non-factor, and yet he's involved in, 3/4 of the snap, 80% of the offensive snaps. And that's just not going to get them to the playoffs. The Bills win in an upset.
Well, I agree with everything you just said. You're right. The Cardinals are on the upswing. The Bills, they win a lot of games. This is a big game for Arizona.
The thing about the Bills is that they're good in all facets. They've got a competent defense. They've got a powerful offense. I mean, there's what's not to like about the Bills? The Bills could easily go all the way. I mean, I know that's kind of shocking.
Yeah.
But more than likely, considering they're the Bills, they'd make it to the Super Bowl and then get blown out by 30 points.
No, they would never get blown out. If the Bills make it to the Super Bowl, they will not get blown out. They will miss a field goal. I'm going to take the Bills, too, because I don't have the balls to pick the Cardinals against you.
All right.
I just don't.
All right.
I don't have the stones.
Sizzle, who you got in this?
I'm also riding with Buffalo.
You're riding with Buffalo?
Yes.
You know what? You know why she's taking Buffalo, right?
No, that's
Nobody circles the wagons
like
the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, I love that
Oh
line.
my gosh.
Mad props to Jeremy. He's probably loving that.
And our next game is the Bengals at the Steelers. Pittsburgh is favored by 7.
Okay. I'll make this quick. Steelers win.
That's short and sweet, huh?
Yeah, what do I got to say?
Yeah, I understand. This is going to be more competitive than I think you might expect.
No, it is going to be competitive. You're right, but Steelers win.
I'm thinking the Steelers win. No cover on this. That 7-point line scares the heck out of me. The Bengals are improving, and they definitely have their quarterback now. And they've been getting some injured players back. There's some things to like about them, but I see the Steelers winning this by probably 3 points.
Well, the Steelers aren't going to go undefeated. Someone's going to beat them, and it's probably
Right.
going to be a team like the Cowboys last week,
Right, that
or
people
the
don't
Bengals
expect.
this week,
Right.
But I don't have the stones to pick against them, so I'm taking the Steelers.
And it's an in-division game, and the Bengals always, play them tough. I expect the Steelers to win, but it's going to be close.
Yeah, it's going to be close. Sizzle, who you got?
I'm taking Pittsburgh as well.
All right,
Clean sweep.
Next game.
We have the Seahawks at the Rams. Seahawks are favored by 1.5.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to let you go first on this.
I'll take the Seahawks. I'll take the Seahawks. I think that the Seahawks need this win, and I think the Rams definitely need this win. But I just think the Seahawks are a better football team. I mean, I look at the quarterbacks. I look at the coaching and the quarterbacks. Okay, McVay versus Pete Carroll, Russell Wilson versus Jared Goff. Who you like?
Bill, the problem is that the Seahawks' pass defense this year has been pretty suspect.
Suspect.
Yeah.
They're worse. They're horrible.
Yeah, they're toward the bottom of the league in pass defense, and that means Jared Goff's going to have a big game. I do predict that. In fact, that's my prediction of the week. Jared Goff, 355 yards, 3 touchdowns. I think the Rams are really going to give them hell in this. I've gone back and forth on this a few times because the Seahawks are, on paper, they are a better team. But they're playing in L.A., and I'm going to take the Seahawks in an upset. I mean, the line's only 1.5. I think they can.
The
pull
Seahawks
it
are
off.
favored.
The
Though.
Seahawks are favored. So.
Oh, the Seahawks. Oh, I had that wrong on mine.
Okay. All right. There we go.
But I'm taking the Seahawks.
All right. Sizzle, who you got?
The Seahawks.
All right. We're all taking the Seahawks. Next game.
Our next game is the 49ers at the Saints. Saints are favored by 9.5 points.
That's easy. I mean, the Saints are going to win this game. I don't see how the Niners can win. They're too injured.
The Niners are going to be lucky if they get 2 more wins or more than 2. I mean, I'm probably giving them 2 rest of season. And they're going to look good at times because even their backups are fairly decent. But you're right. They've been absolutely riddled with injuries. I mean, you look at the 49ers roster and there's bullet holes all over to the point where you can't hardly even read the names. It's just been ugly. Anything that can go wrong for this team this year has. I mean, the only team that's arguably been more unlucky than the 49ers has been the Dallas Cowboys. And the Saints did look good last week. They looked jack good. They fired on all cylinders. They've been. I said it a couple of weeks ago. I called it that they were going to start incorporating more of Taysom Hill, and they have, and to their great success, and they're going to continue that trend. I see Alvin Kamara, maybe getting bottled up by the Niners a little bit, but Drew Brees is going to do a heck of a lot of outlet passes, and the Saints are going to win. I don't think they'll cover, though. This line scares me at 9.5 because, I mean, I know the 49ers have been inconsistent, but just when you think that they're absolute crap, they turn around and they somehow get a win. So I'm taking the Saints. I think they'll win this by probably 6 or 7.
Well, yeah, the Niners. I'm not picking Saints too, but I mean the thing with this is a possible trap game. The Saints coming off that big high. Oh, the Niners. Oh, we got these guys. Oh, we can do this. Oh, yeah, and that's why I think it'll be close. But I'll take the Saints too. Okay. All right, and
I'm taking the Saints as well.
All right, next game.
Our next game is the Ravens at the Patriots. Baltimore is favored by 7.
You've been waiting all day for it.
What? For what?
Sunday night.
Oh, Sunday night. Well,
I'm so sick of that song, I swear.
Oh.
I hear that song. I mean, they've been doing that how many years? I hear that song, and I start grinding my teeth.
all right. I'll go first here. The Ravens will beat the Patriots, and the reason why is because the Patriots do not have any hidden cameras in the Ravens dressing room. So therefore, the Ravens will win. I just don't. The Patriots are a mess. But it wouldn't.
Yeah, they just struggled to beat the Jets.
But it wouldn't surprise me though, and this is where I'm gonna throw this out. This could be a beatdown like last Sunday, because who's got a bigger ego? Lamar Jackson, Cam Newton.
Bill Belichick for the win. But compared to those two, Cam Newton. has the
Okay.
bigger ego.
So-
you can tell by the way he dresses. I
All
mean,
right.
that's pretty
so,
obvious.
no, I like the way he dresses. I think it's kind of cool and interesting, to say the least. But, okay, who is a better passer? Lamar Jackson, Cam Newton? It's close,
That's
isn't it?
kind of tough.
It's kind of okay.
That's kinda tough.
So it's a wash.
Yeah, okay. I'll call
Okay.
that a wash.
All right, so we got Cam Newton, bigger ego, passing game, wash. Who runs better? Lamar Jackson, Cam Newton.
Lamar Jackson.
Aha. But Cam Newton's ego will say, I can run the
Let me
ball.
show this young guy
Let
how
me
it's
show
done."
this guy.
I was doing this when he
he's
was in
gonna-
short pants.
He's going to make a bunch of mistakes. They're going to bench him. Ravens win. That's all I got to say.
I don't know about the benching, but I agree with most of what you said.
Who are you
though.
taking in this?
I've got the Ravens, and I think they're going to cover. But I do want to say this.
Mm-hmm.
That Patriots-Jets game the other night, both of those teams played well. They did. They both looked considerably better. So I do think there's hope for the Patriots. You know, they're not going to make the playoffs or anything. Don't get me wrong. I'm not calling that. But I think you're going to see the Patriots at some point down the road get 2 or 3 wins the rest of season that they are not supposed to win. I think and Cam Newton has been humbled. His big ego has been humbled by this. I mean, you've heard probably some of the comments he's made recently that his play has been terrible, and he absolutely has to get better. And he's right. I mean, quite frankly, he's right. But so I do see that, you know, the Patriots are improving, and good for them. But this is Baltimore. They're too strong. Ravens win and they cover.
Yeah.
Sizzle, who do you have in this game?
I'm also taking Baltimore.
All right, next game.
Our next game is our Monday Night Football game, and that is the Vikings at the Bears. Minnesota is favored by 2.5.
You go for this
This
first.
is going to be fun. This is going to be fun. I mean, these two teams hate each other. I mean, I wonder if there's going to be snow in the forecast. I mean, we're getting to that point in the year. I kind of hope there is. I hope this is a frigid temperature, you know, like I hope it's 25 degrees and snowing. That's what I want to see. I want to see a ground and pound game. And that's why the Bears are going to lose. Their running game is just not impressive. They keep feeding the ball to David Montgomery and hoping that he'll get better. And he's averaging 2.5 yards a carry. He's just not getting it done. And they don't really have anybody else to run the ball to speak of. So they just keep feeding and hoping he's going to somehow improve. Like all of a sudden he'll learn how to elude tackles or make a cut. And he just, time after time, just plows ahead. The term plodding comes to mind. I'm sure you're familiar with that term. Plodding. I mean, that's what I think of when they gave Montgomery the ball. And I'm still not sold on Nick Foles. So, yeah, I'm going Vikings in this. They're going to cover. The Bears are on their way down. They're trending downwards. And this is my lock of the week. There's even a chance that that Foles falls on his face and they end up going back to Trubisky this week or next, in the next couple of weeks. Vikings cover, and this is my lock of the week.
Sizzle, who you got?
I'm taking the Vikings.
All right. Let me tell you the truth. Everything you said is true. Bears are trying to hand the ball off. It's not working. Nick Foles is not doing his thing. Minnesota Vikings, this is a huge game for them because I believe that Mike Zimmer's future, not this season, relies on him winning this football game because they won't fire him during the season. It'll be the end of the year they fire him if he loses this game.
I can see that.
Okay? Because this is a game where you got a team, Vikings trending up, Bears trending down. This could be a really good game. You said I think it could be fun. I'm going to take the Bears. I'm going to tell you why. Kirk Cousins has never won a primetime game in his career. So I'm going to bank on him not doing it. That's why I'm picking the Bears. It has nothing to do with the Bears. Cousins has never won. And trust me, I'm doing you a favor by picking the Bears. Because every time I pick against the Vikings, they win. So you should be happy that I'm picking the Bears.
I kind of am because, again, this is my lock of the week.
You should-
I don't care if he's never won a game in prime time. You know what they have? They have Dalvin Cook. They aren't even going to need to pass the ball very much. The Vikings are just going to jam it down the Bears' throats. And by the time the midway through the third quarter comes, the Bears are going to be exhausted. Exhausted. And, yeah, the Vikings all day on this.
Okay. Well, we'll find out. But and if I'm right, then you'll know in the future that anytime the Kirk Cousins plays on Sunday Night Football, on Monday Night Football, or he's the sole game, when the lights are bright, Kirk is small. And I like Kirk Cousins. I really do. I wish this guy all the success in the world. In fact, I even said weeks ago that the Vikings can win a Super Bowl with Kirk Cousins if they get their defense back on track, because they lost a lot about that. But they can. Yeah, shake your head.
No.
Tell it to Trent Dilfer.
No.
Tell it to Brad Johnson. Tell it to all those people that's got rings that you never would say,
they had better coaching and they had better defense.
Oh, okay. They had better defense. Well,
you're the
Vikings,
one always saying defense and coaching
and
wins
the Vikings
championships.
lost 5 players on defense this year due to the COVID opt-out. So I'm saying the Vikings defense is in shambles. And then on top of the 5 that they opted out, they had a guy that they lost in free agency. So they really lost 6 players on defense. There's only 11 guys on the field. That's half the team on defense. They're starting rookie cornerbacks. The Vikings, and Nick Foles has an opportunity to throw the ball deep. I think he can do that. I think Kirk Cousins will be chased and harassed by Khalil Mack. He's going to be like, what? Sacked again. I can hear it now. And Kirk Cousins sacked. Well, that's Cosell. It's a long time ago. But nevertheless.
Say, what is he, 120?
120. Well, I wish Cosell was back, because if he was, then he would tell you the truth like he always does. He tells it like he sees it.
Sizzle, who do you have in this game?
I'm taking the Vikings.
The Vikings. Okay. All right, good. I'm glad maybe I can come into a tie this week. I'm seriously thinking about the Washington football team over the Lions, but, I'm going to hold pat. I got a couple games that I'm going against you with on the Miami and the Chargers, and, of course, this Viking game. We're even, Steven. Me and you picked everything the same except for the
Vikings
and the Dolphins.
The Dolphins.
So those are the 2 key games. If I can win those 2 games, then I'll be even with you. And if Sizzle beats us, well, then we just need to quit, and she needs to be sitting in this hot seat. In the meantime, I think that's going to wrap it up. What do you think, Jason?
I think you're going to take a step back this week. I think you're going to regret those picks.
All right. Well, only 2 picks. So that means you're going 13 and 0, or whatever.
No, I wish.
Okay. Well, it means okay. If that's the case, then you better change one of your picks. If you think you're going to go undefeated, because I think I'm going to get you on 1 or 2 of those games.
Yeah, I'm not changing any picks. I'm good.
Hidden camera. Anyways, that's it for NFL Weekly Predictions. Take care. We'll see you guys next week. And subscribe, share.
Yeah, like and subscribe.
And subscribe to the craziest, definitely not the shittiest NFL. I shouldn't have said that. My bad. We got to cut that out. Anyways, we'll see you next week. Take care.